Hello soulmates, you're welcome to today's tutorial. So today I'll be showing you how to draft the upper bodies of this beautiful ball dress. This is so easy, something you can do at the comfort of your home and make thousands and millions of naira out of this. Now if you look at the upper bodies of this dress, you will see it's not just a basic bodice, it's like an alter neck. So I will show you how you can draft the upper bodies and get the perfect finishing. Now let's get started. In this tutorial I will be using a brown paper to show you how to draft the bodies. So the first thing I would do here is to fold the pattern paper. Now the reason I'm folding the pattern paper is I want to show you how it will look like how the front bodies is going to look like. Now after you fold your pattern paper very well, get your measuring tape and measure if the width of the pattern paper you folded, it's going to give you your bust measurement. Now for this tutorial, the bust measurement I am using is 20 inches. So and I'll be using 1.5 inch sewing allowance. So I would want to measure it to be sure that the width of the brown paper I folded will give me the exact measurement I need. Now I'm folding it extra, so I get extra allowance for the drafting and not be too stingy with the pattern paper. So make sure you fold everywhere, that all corners are well folded. Now the first thing for you to measure is the shoulder. The shoulder for this little princess is 8 inches. Now remember, you fold your shoulders divided by 2. Now 8 inches divided by 2 will give us 4 inches. So I'm taking an extra ½ inch sewing allowance, so that's giving me 4.5. Now the next thing I want to measure is the neck. Now the width of this neck, I'll be using 2.5 inch width wide by 1 inches deep. 2.5 inches wide, 1 inches deep, then I'll curve. Now if you have your French curve, please do well to use it. I'm making use of freehand in this tutorial. Now the next thing I want to do is slope my shoulder by ½ inch. After you're done with that, please move ahead and measure your armhole length. Now the armhole length I am using for this child is 5. How did I get the 5? I got the 5 from the bustier measurements. Now remember, her bustier is 20, so 20 divided by 4 will give us 5. Now, oh sorry, my marker is bleeding, I have to change it. Now you can use your freehand or your French curve to curve your armhole, but kindly note I'm making use of freehand in this tutorial. The next thing you want to do is where you measured your armhole length, measure your bustier. Remember, we used 20 inches divided by 4, which gave us 5, plus 1.5 sewing allowance, which will give us what? 6.5 inches. So this is it right here. So you go ahead and mark it down. Now the next thing you want to do is measure the length. Now look at where I placed the measuring tape from the shoulder, then measure the length. Now the length for this baby girl is 9 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance, making it 10. So I'll go ahead and measure across to get my 10-inch sewing allowance, half length measurement, sorry about that. So I'm making use of freehand. Please make use of your ruler and everything. So the next thing I want to do is curve my armhole. Please, if you have your French curve, do where to use it, or you can also use freehand like this. Now I'm going to measure the waist for this princess. Now her waist is 18 inches. Now 18 inches divided by 4 will give us what? Who can guess? Now 4.5. How did we get that? 18 inches divided by 2 will give you 9 inches. 9 inches divided by 2 again will give you 4.5. Now remember, we are using 1.5 sewing allowance, so I'm going to add 1.5 sewing allowance to my 4.5, which will give me 6 inches. I go ahead and draft it down. Then you do this. If you have your ruler, please do it. Use ruler, definitely, or use your freehand, but our advice, make use of your ruler. Now you can see our pattern is ready. Now this is how to draft your basic pattern. Now you need to know how to do the halter neck. Look at from your shoulder there, you mark it down to the armhole curve. Watch this. Perfect. You mark it. Please, you can use your ruler or your French curve to do this. Then you mark it down, so you can see it gives you that halter neck. You see, so easy peasy. Just do that and oops, there you go. So I hope this tutorial is helpful. Please don't do it to share this tutorial. Give us a comment and tell us more videos you would like us to create. Now I'll go over this pattern again. The first thing I did was to measure the shoulder. Then I measured the neck, which is 2.5 inches by 1 inches. I measured the armhole length, which is 5 inches. I measured the full length of the dress, which is 10 inches. I measured the waist measurement and I did the halter neck right in from the starting of the shoulder down to where the curve of your bustier is. So it's time to cut. Where is my scissors? Let's go. Please cut nicely. Now when placing your pattern on your fabric, do it to also give an allowance. Please give an allowance on your main fabric when you're transferring your pattern paper. Okay, all right, so let's take off the excess and focus more on the dress. Now look at where I'm following. Don't go through the curve, go through the halter neck. All right, let's do that. Oops, we're out. Now let's cut the neck. Oh, who is ready to sew this dress for a little princess? Who is ready to make use of this pattern? Recreate this pattern for your princesses. Make a beautiful dress out of it, and I'll be waiting to see what you're able to do and the outfits you are able to create. So as you can see, the neck is ready. You do so for your back pattern. I only draft for the front pattern, so when you're drafting your back pattern, do where to put your zipper allowance. Do well to put your zipper allowance at the back. Now I'm going to show you how to do the tube inside. So I'm going to still use this pattern paper to show you how to do the tube, because if you see the dress I showed, it has the lace is transparent, so I had to put a tube satin inside to cover up the chest of my beautiful princess. So I'll advise from the armhole, where your armhole stopped. So okay, where is my marker? So from where your armhole stopped, I would advise you just take it down, or you can as well measure the child to know where her bustier stops. So I'm just using this to show you, so that your inner lining and where your armhole stop will align. Okay, so you can do ahead to do a straight one like this, or you do a sweetheart neck. So whatever suits you, or whatever you want to make. So do well to recreate this to suit your clients or your princess you're creating this for. Please do well to draft your own pattern and share with me. I would love to see your beautiful dresses, and comment new ideas for us. Bye.